Ryan Mabry. Brent Legault.
175.
Yeah, look, that's ridiculous. So isn't that stupid?
Oh, we
It's
knew
our
everything.
education.
You never had to say one word to us the whole day.
Come out.
Yeah, actually, they got a patio out back. All right. Yeah, sounds good.
You're looking at all the losers in the class.
Well, you know, a few, and then
Yeah.
you can decide after that. I'm gonna...
Etobicoke Fire Department. The fire department was looking at an education partner who could help enhance the learning of those that are in the fire service, to go beyond the core skills that they provide, and to use an academic institution like Humber College to provide the more of the academic and those employability skills that are very important and will carry you guys forward in women as well in your future endeavors in the fire service. And you've done it. You're our first group of graduates, and we look forward to hearing of your success as you branch out and work in the fire service. Some of you are already there. Others, you're getting very close. And so we wish you all the best. We have put a program together. We're very pleased to have some very important guests with us this afternoon who wish to extend their congratulations to you. Our first speaker this morning is John Hastings, who is the MPP for Etobicoke North. John has been a very active member of the Etobicoke community for many, many years, a member of City Council, and in 1995 he was elected as the Conservative Member of Parliament for the government. And we're very pleased to have him here today to wish his and to extend his congratulations to you. John?
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here today. Sort of a warm day for a graduation, because we usually have graduations either for late June or into October for some of the public secondary schools. But education today has changed, and I think graduation can be any time of the year, because we now have courses ongoing starting at different start points through an annual year. I'm glad to be here for many reasons, and one of them is that I think this is a great day for Humber College, as you are the first class of pioneers from a fire and emergency course to be taught at a post-secondary institution. And I think I'd like to give the teachers and Paul, Cassidy, congratulations as well for conveying those sets of skills that are so essential for saving people's lives and property. We just had a big fire down the road here in Hamilton. While that's an industrial fire, there were all kinds of consequences arising out of that from the health and the environmental perspectives. In my estimation, this course is a good example of how the Ontario government is trying to rearrange and to get things back in an effective way in Ontario. And specifically, I'm alluding to what we would call core competencies. Government used to try to be everything to everybody in today's world, and I think that is pretty well ended. And we think that other parties, other institutions, the private sector, do the job more effectively, deliver it in a cost-effective way, rather than have government. And as you know, the Ontario Fire College has been the main supplier and provider of education services for firefighters. So this is why, in that context, you are a first as pioneers in being able to provide the same service, but it's done in a different way. The public really doesn't care.
Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for me to be here today, because this is something that we look for some time. Paul and I had talked about this many years ago, really. With Chief Hancock, I think we first started to talk about the idea of working in conjunction with a community college to teach individuals firefighting skills. And I talked to chiefs throughout Ontario about how that would work. And what we looked at was a program that eventually will say that all professional firefighters will have a educational background from a community college such as Humber that proves to the group that they're going to work with and the community that they'll work with that they have the skills to do that. And those skills are taught by individuals such as Paul Cassidy.
On behalf of the class, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all those that took part in the program this year. It's the inaugural year, and we very much appreciate it. Paul Cassidy and Ian Sims have put a great deal of effort into this program, and they've worked hard, and we've noticed that, and we've seen that. The class has had a few problems, but they've come up with solutions, and the class has been getting better and better. They've given us knowledge that they've picked up over the last 30 years in the fire service, and we would like to thank you, Paul, and we'd like you to pass on a thanks to Ian that couldn't make it here today. I'd like to thank Lynn Zany, who came and taught the class for most of the year on how to respond to medical emergencies. And I'd like to thank all the other instructors that Paul brought in to help with the program. I didn't know who would make it out to the graduation here tonight, so I didn't have any names prepared, but I see Dan Ramsey at the back there. He taught us extrication and helped out at the tower line. He's been a great help, and we've learned a lot from you. And I'd also like to thank the people behind the scenes that we don't see on a regular, everyday basis. And one that comes to mind is Beverly Bonello, that has had to deal with us throughout the year at the registration office. It's been a long year. It's a 12-month program, and not too many of us are used to going to school in the summertime. It's nice to see that it's over, but in a way it's kind of sad that we have to leave and that it's all over. We've had a lot of fun and shared a lot of good experiences and have a lot of memories. Once again, thanks.
Gratitude to a number of people that have helped me with the start of this program. You know, I came to here, I guess about 14 months ago, and I knew that I brought my firefighting experience and teaching experience, but I had no earthly idea of how to put it across in this environment, in the Humber environment. And the learning curve was rather large the first few months, and there was a number of people certainly that helped me. Janice took me around and introduced me to a ton of people that I never could remember their names at first, and slowly then I began to work with these people. And Jason mentioned Bev Fennell, and Bev, thanks so much. Bev works in the registrar's office and attended the first meeting and said, well, you know, I have no earthly idea about this program, and she's really been a big help to me. And Jason's right. She kind of helped. She's a detail person and helped me keep me on the straight and narrow. And you can do this, Paul, but you can't do that. And you got to notify this people, and you got to notify that one, and you got to go see this people and that, and this person next. So she was a big help. Ed who works in our office, I don't know if he's here or not. He said he would try and make it by, but Ed was our financial guy, and he again, I was used to working with a budget such as the cities have. And somehow there wasn't sort of this profit line that I had to deal with down in the city. And although the chief does, I certainly never was exposed to it. And good old Ed kept me straight and narrow. And yes, you can buy this, and no, you can't buy that. And you're doing okay, Paul. Keep going. So I really appreciated that. For Janice as well, too. She was a very busy person, as you know, a director, and I would touch base with her periodically, and she seemed to nod, and I kept going, and it seemed here we are a year later. So thanks very much, Janice. Last word just to the students as well. Well, my staff and Dan Ramsey, and there was other instructors. Ian Sim, who was my partner throughout the year, couldn't make it today. And if he ever watches the videotape that Mark's taking now, thanks, Ian. He's a big help. Ian's going to come on with us, we think, full-time next year with doubling the program. So I think it's going to be bigger and better even next year. The last word I just want to do is thank the students. You know, you guys took, and ladies took a bit of a flyer on the whole thing right from the start. It was a rather untested field, and you weren't sure, I was fully confident. The deputy chief, Rick Leach, and I, and the chief knew that it would fly. We just knew that it was the right thing to do. It was convincing you, and you were, Mr. Hastings talked about the courage of a firefighter, and you come on with courage of students to say, hey, I trust this guy, and I believe in this guy, and I think I'm going to take a flyer at it. And that's kind of what it was, as much as information that I had at the time. I still feel, I feel more confident for those who do not have jobs now. We were fortunate that it looks like about 7, 8 are going to have confirmed fire department jobs out of the class. But I feel stronger now that the rest of you will eventually be in the fire service. And so hang in there to you guys and girls. You did a great job. You were flexible, which we needed throughout the program. It was certainly the type of program that you had to sort of move along. We were almost developing as we went, and we needed that flexibility from you. And I can't thank you enough for being that way. As Jason said, we had some problems, but one thing that I knew from the fire service that if you sit down with a group of guys, either they'll work it out. If you can't work it out, they will. And that's exactly what you did. I turned the problem back to you, and you worked it out, and that's what made it work. So again, congratulations, and I thank you very, very much, for being the great students that you were. You were all just terrific. And again, on behalf of Ian and I and the other staff, congratulations.